So if you're watching this video, you probably already watched the first video on how to do a basic message on a single course. So sometimes you may have a situation where you just have a single message on a single course. But in likelihood, you probably were going to run into this scenario. That means you want to put the same message out on several courses. So I'm going to show you a fast way of doing that and to save you some headaches. So the original method is to go into the course. You have to go to SciText. You would go to SciSet. Go into the course as normal, and in that course, go out of the course to SciText. It's a two-pronged process, and it's kind of irritating. I hate that because who wants to be in a course, to go out of a course, to go back into a course? So what I'm going to show you here is that if you have, let's say that you have the same message on all your online courses that you want to tell students, that this course is an online course. It requires that you have a laptop or a computer, a headset, and a webcam, right? That's traditionally and a reliable internet access, whatever that is. Or maybe you want to do all of your mini-term courses. You want to put the same message out on all of your mini-one courses. I would recommend that you come up with important messages, but not so that you are naming specific CRNs on your messages. So the messages should be broad enough but specific enough to help you. So I'm going to show you an example of what we use for mini terms. So excuse me. Essentially what you want to do, you want to get a list of all of your CRNs for, let's say, your mini term classes. So let's say that you have all of your mini term classes and you want to put the same message out, whether it's mini 1 or mini 2, or maybe at your school you do a specific message for mini 1 and another one for mini 2. Regardless of the case, the key is to get all of the CRNs on a sheet in front of you before you do this. So I'm going to pretend that I have my list of courses out there, and I'm going to plug in my first CRN number. So I go to SciText, again, SSA text. And here's the cool thing. You never have to leave this window. If you have your list of all your CRNs, you're going to plug one in after the other. You don't even have to go to SciSet. You don't have to go back to the course. In fact, don't do that. It's a pain, okay? So what you want to do is just plug in your message, as I've done here. I did that fast, didn't I? So you plug in your message, and as you can see, we do a generic message. We've kind of thought about this. We basically say this section of Math 098. We don't name the CRN, and I tell you why. You want to create a message that will stay with the course no matter, so as you're patching this course over for the next term, or the next year, like fall to fall, that message will stay on there and you don't have to worry about changing it or updating it. Notice how it reads. This section of Math 098 is a mini-term course, meaning it runs for 8 weeks, not 16. Look below under the date range for the start and end date for this specific course. Mini 1 classes run for the first half of the term, and mini term 2 classes run for the second half. So I'm giving you a tip even in terms of messaging. Play it smart so you're not overworking or overthinking this. This message is clear. It guides the students to finding the information that they need. So anyway, back to our little quick session today. So once you do that, sometimes when you copy, just copy and paste it in. This system is tricky, but I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I'm going to click F10. If it says no changes saved, that's not a good message. That means that it's not seeing this. So sometimes you have to try to out-trick it, put a period there and see if you can save it. There we go. I just tricked the machine, and get rid of your period and hit save again. If it does that, just be mindful. I'm glad it didn't save the first time, because if it doesn't read save successfully, I don't care if you can see the message or not, it doesn't save it. So I want you to remember that. Again, it must read save successfully, and just trick it, put an extra period in, and you're good to go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this message for my next one. Again, it's going to populate, and watch this, and don't let it trick you. I'm going to, I just saved successfully. I'm going to do F10 again, and then I'm going to F5 out. It already saved it the first time, so I know I got that error message. I'm fine. Now you just go ahead and put your second one in. It's that simple. You have your list of CRN numbers. I'm going to my next course. See, I don't have to go out of this. You see that? And I'm going to plug in. It's going to auto default, but don't let that fool you. Make sure you put your period in, and let's F10 it. There we go. And it saved it, and take my period out, and I'll save it again. Remember, you have to do that little step. If not, it won't save. It's just a quirk unless they fix it, right? So again, make sure it says save successfully. Once it says save successfully, hit F5 on your keyboard or refresh. You can go to tools and refresh, get you back here and plug in your next CRN. I'm going to do this third one for good measure here. Remember what I said earlier, don't let this fool you, because if I hit F10, again, I'm just going to remind you, it's not going to save. No changes to save. It did not save, even though you can see it, so we got to trick it. Put your little period in, hit F10, save it, and then F5 to go out. And you just plug them in one by one by one by one by one, and before you know it, all of your messages for your online classes are in, all of your messages for your virtual, we do virtual as well, are in, your mini ones, whatever it is. So this is a good technique when you have the same message, and I would encourage you to think about that. Find ways that you can put the same message out there on courses like we did for mini ones and mini twos, or for virtual, right? For maybe your Math 099 classes, your developmental classes, right? You have these messages about who's required to go in. So whatever that it may be, I hope this technique helps you, because it's helped us a lot, and it's also eased some of our frustrations in dealing with going into SAWSEC back out to SAWTEX. Okay, thanks.